We have some animals to show you, both large and small.
The 7-year-old Holstein Friesian stands more than 6 feet tall, is said to be the tallest bovine in all of Australia.
This news assistants captured this video of a huge bear.
Because I was here and he was crossing the street.
This is obviously a liger, which is the largest. This is one of the largest ligers in the world, if not the largest.
Wonders of nature occur in many forms, but today we're concentrating on animals that are on the larger end of the scale and whose tails significantly tip the scales. Fascinating due to their striking dimensions. This is Cookie the monster, toad, who weighs in around 4 pounds and measures roughly 10 inches in length. This is a nasty croak, or it has been smuggling food in without the owner's knowledge. Cookie, she is a giant toad that weighs an incredible 4 pounds and can reach a maximum of 10 pounds. This is ridiculous. In contrast to ordinary toads, which are barely a few inches in size, Cookie, as her name implies, enjoys eating crickets and, smaller toads that you are what you eat, they say. But how did Cookie get to be this big? I mean, look at her muscular frame. From her parents. And the remainder is entirely because her owners allowed her to wander the backyard to eat smaller gritters. Ringmaster's dilemma. At Russia, at the Vlasto Circus, everyone is enthralled with the tiger. And it's not just because of his stunts that he has become noticeably bigger. This tiger is not only larger than his wild counterparts, but it also looks like he's been eating at an all-you-can-eat buffet for a while. Too often, the ringmaster blames this on getting older, yet it presents significant issues regarding how animals live. When living in captivity, tigers cover large areas, hunt, and keep a healthy diet. But because of the limitations on their activity in a circus, they might not be able to meet the nutritional balance of the wild. Guaranteeing that captive animals get enough exercise and sustenance is essential. In all honesty, don't you believe that circuses are becoming older? Is only further justification for giving up on circus acts altogether. Titanic tusker. In a zoo, it's understandable why a walrus who has gained a lot of notoriety is a visitors are in awe of the enormous walrus, which is twice as big as his contemporaries, and his enormous tusks. Oh, zookeepers say, they're not simply long, they're like two natural wonders curving from his lips. Tuskers never went to sleep hungry, because as everyone knows, animals and people alike reading can cause major problems. Generally, walruses are large animals, but I'm not sure if such a large weight would be pleasant. So let's hope Fell is doing perfectly fine. Okay? Ideally plump. Undoubtedly, Garfield is the largest cat I have ever owned. Similar to his cartoon namesake, Garfield has hardships in real life. With weight, Garfield's dire circumstances were made public after he was adopted by an Animal League sanctuary. Weighed a whopping 38 pounds, which is much more than a cat should be eating. I placed him on the Animal League crew knew they had to adhere to a very rigorous diet, which we are following to the letter. In order to help Garfield lose 15 to 20 pounds, they put him on a well-thought-out diet. But the journey was about more than merely trimmed down. But Garfield's journey to rediscover health takes a positive turn. Found a new place to live and shed a good amount of weight. But his health comes first. Top priority. Plump Dog. A massive beagle weighing an astounding 86 pounds that he could hardly lift, as was the case with Chips, a beagle who discovered, occasionally pet owners' excitement can tip the scales a little too far. At 86 pounds, he was considerably overweight and carrying an additional 50 pounds. After finding him in need of rescue from animal control, we took him to the veterinarian, and maybe I was expecting the worst. Diabetes. Kidney failure. Kale Chip's condition resulted from his prior owner's excessive eating, but the tent might not have been detrimental. The repercussions for Kill Chips were grave. His weight significantly hindered his movement and overall health. At one occasion, Kale Chips would even demand sweets directly from his bed and would not get out of bed for nourishment. However, Kale Chip's narrative took a turn for the better in the 9 months that followed his rescue. Change, losing 40 pounds. This weight reduction journey was meticulously controlled with exercise and nutrition. Adapted to meet his needs, he's doing incredibly well. Chasing squirrels is his favorite pastime. Mount of monkeys. For this reason, a lot of zoos forbid visitors who came to feed the animals, nicknamed Uncle Fat this time, were regularly given snacks. Of all tourists finally sorted things out, because Uncle Fat became accustomed to eating snacks, and the monkey began to wait for guests to arrive so he could consume anything he laid eyes on. But sadly, this didn't work out too well, because the monkey eventually gained a lot of weight and accumulated a significant amount of fat that made it difficult for him to walk around. Rescuers noticed his suffering and stepped in to treat him, putting him on a strict regimen to manage his grave condition. He's now improving, but this demonstrates how providing wildlife with improper food, in particular, can have major negative effects. Health issues. Heavyweight champion. This is just one of many things you shouldn't miss. Chinese zoo's Siberian tigers, renowned for their slender bodies and fast reflexes, is appearing, well, cuddlier than usual. It's not just a tiny bit more winter padding, as most spectators assumed. This weight gain is related to park employees overfeeding, and even though you may think it's a nice thing, it's actually pretty worrying because excessive weight in tigers can cause joint problems. Tigers naturally have diminished mobility and other health issues that affect their overall quality of life. Keep a trim, muscular physique in the outdoors, where consistent hunting enhances health and fitness. When park management came under fire, to which they only replied that their excess fat kept them warm in the winter and that they would assist. When the snow finally stops, the tigers shed pounds. Let's hope they maintain their assurance. Monstrous moo. Knickers, the gigantic steer, is reputed to be the tallest. At a staggering 6 feet 4 inches in and 1,400 lbs, a steer this size is comparable to a skyscraper in the cow world. Or in environments that are more natural, cows roam and graze throughout vast healthy size by consistent activity and a natural diet. However, even for his stature, Knickers' size is significantly larger than average. Breed. His size wasn't just for show. Due to his nearly record-breaking stature, the slaughterhouse couldn't accommodate him, providing him a new lease on life. His owners believe he is clinging on because they are unaware of how the steer grew so large. To some lucky genes, may be experiencing a hormone problem, or may have taken the expression hitting the hay a little too literally. No matter what, has gained a lot of popularity on the internet, and we're all adoring it. Recently, Nick's size has become quite the local celebrity, so he and his admirers may now savor his recently acquired Tower of Ivory. Even though it's said that size doesn't matter, it's difficult to not be amazed with Rahman, the tallest elephant in India. Rahman, who is 3'21.5 centimeters tall, makes other elephants appear naturally. His towering stature has made them small, which is a significant accomplishment. In Hindu and Buddhist traditions, elephants are revered as sacred animals, and one as large as Ran. It makes perfect sense that Rahman has been the focal point of attention since 2011 in an incredible show that heralds the start of an important Indian custom is the Purim festival. Naturally, this much-loved holiday does not make Rahman easy to deal with. Even his handlers are afraid of him. Sometimes, because of his size, they are an easy target. Fortunately, Rahman is quite composed. Otherwise, everyone would be crushed. Crocodile. Within Indonesia, a family owns a unique pet that's drawing attention. A 200-kilogram crocodile named Meat Koika. A voracious appetite for goldfish. Each day, he consumes at least twice as many, 5 kilograms, the quantity of food that other crocs consume. Muhammad Iwan observed children use it. Iwan was drawn to the abandoned baby crocodile that a fisherman had found on the shore, and he chose to purchase it. Him for just $2. Fast forward more than 20 years, and Kojak's passion for fish has allowed him to develop into a large, distinctive man. Due to his popularity as a family pet, people travel far and wide to see this gentle giant. Naturally, having a croc isn't the easiest place for Kojaks to grow up. Even his owners are concerned about his hunger, as they know he won't live if they were turned into a meal, so he can remain with the family in the wild for as long as he lives. Blubber Bonanza. Dylan had to endure rounds of gunfire from with a 200-foot shooting range nearby in 2019. Dylan the bear attracted attention. Dylan was not only upset to be imprisoned in a small space at the Millmont Union County Sportsman's Club, but he was also extremely fat, at least twice as wide as a typical Asian black bear. Dylan's case went viral almost instantly, and PETA was the one to intervene and urge the club to. Even well-known people like Alec Baldwin spoke for Dylan when they let him go, and the bear was sent at last to a secure sanctuary. But Dylan's problems didn't end there. Dylan had major health issues when he initially came to the sanctuary, especially with his weight. This bear, who weighed more than was typical for his type, had been having difficulty. He needed assistance, and quickly the sanctuary crew moved to provide Dylan much-needed dental treatment, using a specific diet and appropriate technique to treat infections and pain. Dylan started to lose the extra weight. He has subsequently dropped an amazing 200 pounds and is more content than ever. Sumo Simian. Consuming just Abi orangutan, often known as Owen, is being compelled to alter her ways in the realm of marshmallows and jelly beans. One of the orangutans has made quite the journey to meet Britain's largest orangutan, who had a background as unusual as her stature as a newborn and a brief residence in before relocating to South Africa with Brenda, who reared her more like a child than an orangutan. She lived at an Indonesian safari park, but Brenda's well-intentioned concern led him into a path of bad behaviors, where he was clothed, given sweets, and processed meals, and began to struggle with her weight as she entered puberty. Because of her girth, Brenda found it difficult to keep her at home, which caused Owen to have her own closure and realized that something needed to happen. Brenda then contacted the director of Monkey World, Alison Cronin, welcomed Owen into a refuge. Since then, Owen has kept somewhat hidden from the public in order to prevent attention from being drawn to her weight management, overeating and motivating a lot of gimmers. Once they help her lose weight and get rid of her belly, she'll be presented to a possible partner with the intention of starting a family. Chubster. From Katmai National Park, Otis the bear is a true crowd pleaser, particularly in the park's Fat Bear Week competition, which he has won 4 times. Thousands of people enjoy tuning in to Cat's Live Bear to witness how adept he is at preparing for winter. It's not the hardest effort to find Otis in the stream, because it can be seen from a distance. Boldly towering above others may notice Otis's bulk. But he doesn't just wear it for show. When he puts gaining weight is essential for surviving the winter, since, while they hibernate, they don't eat and hence require all that extra fat to maintain them proceeding. And Otis, who enjoys eating a lot, even had 42 fish in one sitting day, which is quite a bit even by bear standards. The Napper Walrus. Named Freya, who had developed into a very Freya the Walrus, a well-liked attraction in the Oslo field, has been closed due to worries for public safety. Became relatively well known for her peculiar habit of like to sunbathe, although her favorite places weren't simply anywhere. The only issue was that she was hefty. 1,300 kilograms, frame wasn't exactly boat-friendly, and occasionally even she managed to sink some of them. Freya was said to be heavier than other female walruses when they were sunk, and this may have something to do with the fish. Despite becoming a celebrity, she continued to sneak away from the boats. Freya's tale has a serious people who were attracted to her frequently disregarded her advice to keep their distance. This was dangerous for Freya and the bystanders, because she was approaching a wild animal too closely, especially one that was so large. Can be harmful. Regrettably, things got to the point where the authorities felt Freya had to be put down. Her encounters with people and boats were become too perilous, and she was being put down by a species that is meant to protect them. Actually, the sole choice. Little Titan. Well, folks, I don't believe ants are intended to become this large. It nearly appears like this. This is a tiny colony of leafcutter ants, who are quite interesting, and they are devouring all of the food in the colony. species that are renowned for their extraordinary capacity to chop and move leaves, which they utilize to grow fungus in their nests. And the one we're looking at here is a leafcutter, queen, who is noticeably much bigger than the worker ants, which can reach a maximum size of 3 centimeters, and are as unsettling as the bigger size aids in her energy storage and ability to successfully produce a huge number of eggs, even after learning that I'm no longer at ease around ants. Powerful grazer. It's understandable why the cows are all chasing after such a large bull. He knows that this bull appears normal in contrast, yet he's significantly stronger, and it is not unusual for bulls to grow large, but this one is definitely taking more than his share. Stronger than the rest of his breed fair share. It's possible that this bull just grew up with a massive bone because his parents were larger than typical. It's also feasible that he rose to the top of the cattle thanks to a healthier diet and general surroundings, so it's all pretty evident why he rules the field. The Leviathan. What crocodile that lives on a farm is scarier than any other? Moreover, to facilitate comparison, the remaining crocs are obviously mature, or nearly mature. They are not babies. Just as this crocodile is making its way back to the pool, it and this one are clearly competing for all the flesh. While most crocodiles reach 5 or even 6 meters in length, this young one is sure to give up its spot, going toward an even bigger number. Nevertheless, unexpectedly, it can occur in the wild because they don't have to actively hunt food and won't mind. Heavier built crocs are much more frequent in captivity, displaying an abundance of chicken without doing any work.